It's about inflicting pain.
That was my buddy Briscoe. For me, it was very eye-opening.
Hey, it's two of my mutuals, and one I even know personally because they showed up for me in one of my times where I needed support. What was eye-opening?
Just like the Bernie bros did in 2016. They voted for Bernie in the primary, and then when it came time for the general election, they voted for Trump.
Buddy.
Simply to teach us a lesson and inflict pain upon everyone. They gave us Donald Trump.
Ugh, bud, that is a bit cringe and really tone deaf. First, I want to reiterate, I have a ton of respect for Briscoe. He showed up for me and went above and beyond for me as a complete stranger. And I've been mutuals with Johnny for a long time, and we've bounced content off of each other in the past. So if you're feeling like a troll, please stay under your bridge. We all have bad takes every once in a while. It's our ability to hold each other accountable and receive that accountability that's important. That's all this is about, is reminding us that we're on the same team and making sure that our preconceived feelings don't overrule the facts. Now, this is a long, debunked myth and a harmful one to keep repeating. Do not try to pass off the epic failure of the Hillary campaign on Bernie bros. Do you know what percent of Bernie primary voters voted for Trump? 12%. And sure, that's not an insignificant number unless you look at literally any other statistics that don't fit inside your confirmation bias. Do you know how many Hillary primary voters voted for John McCain? 13%. Want to know how many John Kasich primary voters voted for Hillary Clinton? 4%. So how the fuck are you sitting here with a straight face and telling us all that Bernie bros maliciously gave us Donald Trump with their below average party defection rate? Especially considering the way that the DNC openly shat on Bernie supporters from start to finish. If you remember when Debbie Wasserman Schultz conspired to undermine the Bernie campaign, got caught, got fired as head of the DNC, and then Hillary Clinton hired her as a fucking campaign director, and even after that, still only 12% defected? You should be singing their goddamn praises and thanking them for not defecting at the rates of John Kasich supporters. And where is this contempt for literally every other voting bloc that could have turned the tides in any one of the states Hillary should have won but didn't? Where's the contempt for Hillary not visiting Wisconsin one fucking time? Maybe if Wisconsin folks didn't feel taken for granted as a brick in her blue wall, they would have voted for her. Make absolutely no mistake. Hillary Clinton and the DNC gave us Donald Trump, and they were emboldened by bullshit rhetoric like this. Because here's what you're seeming to forget, and what the DNC always forgets. No political party or politician is entitled to our votes simply because of a letter next to their name. A lot of the people who voted Trump or Bernie in the primaries weren't Democrats or Republicans, and they were never going to vote party line. They were voting politician. And the cross-section of the Venn diagram between 2016 Trump and Bernie primary voters is a lot bigger than you think. Because at its core, a lot of people just wanted a non-traditional populist candidate that they felt seen or heard by. They didn't give a shit about what party's flag they were flying under. These are the same people who voted Ross Perot and Ralph Nader and Ron Paul for as far back as we can go. And that sense of entitlement to their vote without doing any work to hear them is exactly why they're not voting for us now, and they never fucking have. Now, there's a couple other things you said that I want to address as well.
They took away women's bodily autonomy.
This shit, what the fuck are you doing? 50 years of an orchestrated plan by conservatives to take over the judicial branch, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg did more to take away women's bodily autonomy than any Bernie bro. And don't get me wrong, I love RBG. The woman is a national treasure, but she also had 8 years of Obama to retire after she turned like 150 fucking years old, and she didn't. As a result, Trump got to appoint one more Supreme Court judge. Biden had 2 years of majority in the House and the Senate. Did they put forward any legislation to try to codify Roe v. Wade? Nah, it's just all the fault of 12% of Bernie supporters.
They don't want to do the hard work of building up support to get a viable party that's on the left. They don't want to take the time to shift the Overton window. They realize that their crybaby tactics about Gaza and not wanting to vote in the system and not wanting to actually participate is not going to get them the revolution that they desire. So what they want to do is make everyone else as miserable as possible so that they can then convince others to join their revolution.
That line right there is really what's gotten my dander up. What the fuck do you think students protesting all across the goddamn country right now are doing? That's not crybaby tactics, that's them putting in the work. Ballot referendums with record turnout and off-cycle elections to codify things like women's bodily autonomy in states like Ohio is people putting in the fucking work. Turning out in record numbers to vote for a progressive Wisconsin Supreme Court justice in an off-cycle election is putting in the fucking work. How many people for the first time in their life donated or volunteered for a political campaign because Bernie Sanders was running? How many members of the squad are there now that keep getting reelected? Did you forget about the women's marches and the BLM marches and the fact that a black Democrat was elected as a senator in fucking Georgia? I just genuinely want you to take a minute to appreciate the irony of the fact that you were sitting here on a social media app using what is very arguably crybaby tactics to accuse people who are pushing through ballot referendums and running for office and marching in the streets and camping out on their college campuses campuses for being politically lazy and intentionally malicious, all because you feel that your party is just intrinsically entitled to the votes of the people who feel unheard by that party? What are you doing to earn their votes, to shift that Overton window? Because I can tell you right now, blaming them for women losing their bodily autonomy is about as effective at doing that as it is evangelizing LGBTQ people by telling them they're going to hell. Now, trust me, I get it and I understand. It's an election year, emotions are high, especially with all of the things we've lost over the past 8 years. And I totally understand how frustrating it is when you hear people saying they want to vote third party and you understand that that might as well just be a vote for Trump. But you need to check yourself, because holding your nose and voting party line isn't some badge of honor. And you're not going to convince every RFK voter to vote Biden, but you might be able to convince them to vote down ticket. And hey, I'll take every extra vote we can get for Congress and Senate and local elections, but we damn sure ain't gonna get them by telling people that they're lazy, malicious crybabies. Especially when a lot of those people are doing more work politically or socially than you or I have ever likely done. So again, man, I totally get why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, and I don't blame you. I'm sorry if I came across a little disrespectful, because I'm really heated by this rhetoric, and not only from you, I hear it a lot in general. Once again, I just want to reiterate as strongly as possible, I'm not sending anybody to troll or harass. This is simply about holding our fellow allies on the left accountable, and I hope that that's the way it's taken. The future of our country is anything but guaranteed, and infighting isn't going to get us anywhere. So let's all try to do a little better together.